tomorrow the Haas IndyCar Series will take on their biggest race of the season, the Indianapolis 250 here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But today, we're here for the biggest race of the CSX IndyLights Series. Really look forward to this race year in and year out. It's usually a lot of fun. This year ought to be no different. But we are here for the sister race to the Indianapolis 250, and we're here to do 20 laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in the CSX IndyLights Series. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Freedom 50 here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to the Freedom 50 here in the CSX IndyLights Series. Of course, last year this race was run kind of as its own independent thing, but going into it this year, we have a little bit of storylines going in since it is a 6-race season now, and race number 3 on the season, but still easily one of the biggest races of the series, and still probably one of the most fun races that we have here on the channel. This race is usually always a lot of fun, and I definitely have someone alongside me who can vouch for that. Joining me along for the call, it's AG. Thank you so much for joining me here once again. Of course, you were on the call for this race last year, and you know how that went. That race was a lot of fun. But, of course, while a lot of it's going to be the same, there's some things different this year. Of course, like I said, we're race number 3 now into a 6-race season, but it's still the biggest race of the season by an absolute country mile. So, what do you think we can expect from these guys here today from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Well, this race is going to be a lot of fun. This race, the Freedom 50, may just be one of the best races, most consistently best races year in and year out. And we had a couple of years where we didn't run it, but we've run it the past couple of years. And let me tell you, it is always a heck of a lot of fun. And it gets us ready for tomorrow for the big race, the Indianapolis 250. And for the first time in quite some time, we actually have somebody running in both this Freedom 50 and the Indy 250 tomorrow. Ludovic Charette, who is a full-time driver here in the Indy Lights Series. We did the sign-ups for this series prior to the sign-ups for the Indy 250 only ride, so Ludovic got to be in both. And, you know, that might make Dylan Matthews, Avery Alford, Brad Stover just a little jealous because they attempted to qualify for the Indy 250 and they missed out, so they get to run in this Freedom 50 here today. I know they're going to be going for it very hard here, but this is such a fun race. I cannot wait for it. 20 laps, no pit stops. It is just all gas, no brake the whole way through for these 18 Indy Lights drivers. And these guys go just as fast as we're going to see tomorrow. So it's going to be a wild race as it always is, and I can't wait to see who gets it done here today on Carb Day at Indianapolis.
It's definitely going to be a fun race, and it'll be exciting to see how it will go down. And like I mentioned, with it being a series, we do got some storylines going in. Of course, like you mentioned, got the 18 Ludovic Charette, of course, a full-time driver here in the Indy Lights Series. Starting on the outside pole here today, but like you said, Ludovic doing the, I guess you would say, triple. She's running the Freedom 50 here. She's going to be in the Indianapolis 250 tomorrow, and of course running the Wawa Cup Series race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So Ludovic's got a pretty busy weekend here, so have to see how she does here in the Freedom 50 and all the other events as well. But we know Ludovic is a very strong driver, so definitely have high hopes there for that driver of the number 18. But on the pole, we've got the number 10 of Andrew Miller. Of course, got the fastest time in practice just the other day. Have to see if he can potentially hang on to this race win. We'll have to see. But like you mentioned, you got 20 laps of all gas, no brake action ahead of us. Definitely going to be really interesting. And of course, we got our drivers who DNQ'd from the Indianapolis 250 here. We got the 39 of Dylan Matthews there starting on the inside of row number 2. And Avery Alford in the 93 starting on the inside of row 3 with Brad Stover right behind Alfred there on the inside of row number 4. So they all have pretty good starting positions. Have to see how they do here in this race. I know they definitely have a chip on their shoulders after DNQing from that race. So it's going to be interesting to see how it will all play out. But with all that being said, I think it's about time to get these guys rolling here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And as they do, we'll take a quick glance here at your starting lineup from today's race here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, as aforementioned, on the pole, we've got the number 10 of Andrew Miller, and he's going to be starting alongside the number 18 of Ludovic Charette. Note row 2, we have the number 7 of Charlie Davenport starting alongside the number 39 of Dylan Matthews. Row 3, we have the 93 of Avery Alford starting alongside the hometown hero, the number 22, Nathan Stapleton. Row 4, we have the number 81 of Brad Stover starting alongside the 17 of Andrew Williams. Row 5, it's the number 4 of Josh Marzak and the number 8 of Felix Mayer that are rounding out your top 10. Row number 6, we have the 15 of Michael Lewis, your winner from Nazareth earlier on in the season, starting alongside the 20 of Jonathan Wong. Row 7 is the number 2 of Corey Case, starting alongside the 26 of Matthew Hubert. Row number 8, we have the number 19 of Casey Kojima, and your Indianapolis Road Course winner, the 10 of Roberto Crown Jr., and rounding out your field, we have the number 6 of Hallie Anderson Jr. and the 14 of Philip Torres. But looks like everyone's rolling off okay. Race info will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, as well as the previous winners. We have no previous winners in this race here this year, so it'll definitely be really interesting to see somebody here today will be picking up their first win in this event. But Alex, I'll ask you, who do you think is going to be getting it done here today in the Freedom 50?
Well, he got a win on Monday night in the Body Armor Pro Series race right here at his home racetrack. Give me Nathan Stapleton to win the Freedom 50 as well, driving the number 22 machine. I know he loves those JBL headphones, so he's going to be hearing a lot of great things when he goes to victory lane in 20 laps.
Would be a big win for the big Staple. We're looking forward to see what he can do here in this race. We'll just have to wait to see what all goes down here after 20 laps from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But here, everybody comes here through turn 4, and everybody's spreading out, preparing for the race start. The pace car makes the left-hand turn into the pit lane, and it's going to be Andrew Miller and Ludovic Charette who's going to lead the field down the front straightaway to the yard of bricks. The green flag is waving, and we are racing in the biggest race of the CSX IndyLights Series. We're racing here in the Freedom 50 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trying 3 wide contact as they bang wheels between Davenport and Nathan Stapleton as he tries to go to the lead. I have no idea how nobody wrecked there.
There were sparks and everything. I don't know how they got this. Race is unlike anything else on the channel. And the thing is, it's only 20 laps. These guys only have such little time to get up to the front of this race. Well, Nathan Stapleton has already done that. And these guys are cycling through quite a bit early on here in this race. We'll have to see how much they do end up cycling through, but it's a wild start to this Freedom 50 here today.
Definitely, as Stapleton clear with the race lead for the time being. Of course, like you said, everybody kind of bunched up together where it is the start of the race. I do think everyone will start to string out just a little bit as this race goes along, but it's pretty much a hornet's nest right now behind Nathan Stapleton as outside lane starting to slip back a little bit. There's Ludovic Charette, your pole sitter Andrew Miller, who got shuffled up to the outside in that whole kerfuffle. I think Miller actually might have gotten into the wall in that whole thing, but doesn't look too bad on that number 10, so no harm, no foul really there. But yeah, Stapleton trying to clear with the race lead. It's now Brad Stover in the 81 up to second. Be a big win for Brad Stover to get it done. Josh Marzak up into third, and Michael Lewis, your Nazareth winner, up into the 4th position. In the first side-by-side battle now, it's between the number 2 of Corey Case, who finished on the podium in this race last year, and now we're side-by-side behind him between Hubert and Alford, and it's just crazy behind them. But coming to lap 4 out of 20, this race does go by pretty quickly, already almost a quarter of the way through. Got a battle for second now between Marzak and Stover, but that 22 car looking pretty good out in the race lead for the time being.
Yeah, they've kind of strung out, and that single file racing is going to help Stapleton and his attempts to win this Freedom 50. You know, it's like we're back at Anderson Speedway like we were last night. Those guys could not get that outside lane to work at all in that race in the little 250, and well, that was the case for Andrew Miller as we got a battle. How about Michael Lewis looking to the inside of Marzak for second, and the more they battle for second, the easier it's going to be for Stapleton to pull away. We tend to see a driver dominate this race. They don't always go to victory lane, but Landon Smith Jr., when he won this thing a few years ago, he led 18 of the 20 laps in this event to go on to win. Stapleton trying to do the same here today.
That'd be a great way to win if Stapleton was to dominate this, but He's still got 3/4 of the race to hang on to as we come to lap number 5 here. Lewis now up to second, but Stover looking to get back down to the inside. You've got Corey Case in the 2, I believe they're up into the 4th position. Josh Marzak side by side with Andrew Williams, who, like I said, looking to get his season back on track after a pretty rough start. He got a decent finish at the Indianapolis road course, but looking for more there in that Hers number 17 as, yeah, things are starting to string out just a little bit here. Casey Kojima in the 19, who's had a really good season up to this point, has found her way up in the top 10. Avery Alfred, Roberto Crown Jr. fighting up here. Felix Mayer currently rounds out your top 10, but we're still battling up here towards the front of the field as now Michael Lewis gets shuffled up to the outside. That's just not where you want to be. Kojima gonna shove her nose down the inside there, get to the inside of the 15 of Lewis as they go down the back straightaway, but they're starting to kind of get single-filed out here behind the 22 and Nathan Stapleton, maybe trying to get a run on that 22, but Case kind of misses the apex of the corner there, slips wide. Now Andrew Williams looking to try and get down to the inside, but Stover trying to peek on the 22 of Stapleton. He got underneath him coming out of the corner, and we're side by side for the leader coming to lap number 7.
We'll see if Stapleton can clear. He's not going to be able to, and we're going to have ourselves a new race leader. How about Brad Stover? Chip on his shoulder from missing the Indy 250. He wants an opportunity to win the next biggest race here in Indianapolis this week. But Andrew Williams, how about that number 17 machine? A great run for Andrew, looking to the inside of Brad Stover. And I don't think Brad's going to hold on to the race lead as long as Stapleton, and if Stapleton's going to get shuffled out of line, we're going to see a lot of shuffling throughout this race. And there goes Andrew to the inside for the race lead here on lap number 7.
Big move there by Williams. Stover looked like he wanted to try and come down, but Williams was already there. And now Williams is going to go to the race lead and trying to hold on to it as here comes the 4. Josh Marzak looking to take second away. Kojima in the 19 with drafting help from the 15 of Michael Lewis there on the inside, looking to make their way up into the 3rd position. You've also got Crown and Felix Mayer there on the inside. There's the 18 of Vdovic Charette looking to make her way back up through the field. And you got this little pack of cars back here being caboosed by the 14 of Philip Torres. Andrew Miller back here. It's not been the best race for him as he looks like he probably just got stuck up on the outside lane there after the opening lap. But we still have at least half of this race left to go, and we've seen that anything can happen. And how about this 4 of Josh Marzak looking to now take the race lead away from Andrew Williams? These guys have kind of been cycling the lead ever since that 22 got passed.
Andrew's going to be able to hold on to it for now, though. That 17 machine holding on to that run on the outside. Marzak's trying to get a run on the inside lane, but there's just nothing quite there for him yet. And, once you get a couple cars that are out front, it is a little bit harder to pass in these IndyLights machines than it is in the Indy car machines. Slightly different aerodynamics on these machines than what we're going to see tomorrow. We may get a 3-wide situation here if they're not careful. That 11 machine almost peeking out of the inside. How about Roberto Crown Jr. looking for their 2nd win on the channel? Got that win at the Indy Road Course, here at the Indy Road Course, I should say, a couple weeks ago. And this would be an even bigger win if they can pull it off here to the inside of Kojima there for that 4th position. And you also got Felix Mayer moving their way up on the inside lane as well. Brad Stover slipped back just a little bit. He never actually led a lap and fell back, and Stapleton is also continuing to drop like a rock in that 22 machine. It's a tough break for Nathan. But it's the way it goes. You get stuck in that outside lane. It's just nowhere to go for these guys in these IndyLights machines. And like I said, it's like we're back at Anderson Speedway like we were last night. There's just nothing on that outside lane for these guys when you get stuck up there.
Definitely the outside lane is just not where you want to be. Andrew Williams might be stuck up there now as Marzak tried to get down to the inside, but Williams is going to have drafting help. A little bit of drafting help from Michael Lewis down the front straight, and is going to stay clear. And now Lewis looking to take advantage of Marzak there, trying to get underneath for the 2nd position. And looks like he's going to do so there through turn number 1. Roberto Crown Jr. looking to follow suit. Like you mentioned, got the win at the Indianapolis road course, coming into this race with a lot of much-needed momentum. And looking to potentially make it 2 in a row here in the IndyLights Series. And yeah, this race would be an even bigger win for Roberto Crown Jr. if he could get it done. Of course, nothing like that first win feeling, but winning a race like this is definitely nothing to scoff at. Casey Kojima there in the 19, up into the 4th position. Felix Mayer now up into 5th as Marzak's finally going to slot in on the bottom behind the 8 machine and is looking to already try and make back up some positions as he dives underneath Felix Mayer there going into turn number 1. Michael Lewis has a bit of a head of steam here, though, on Andrew Williams. He's peeking down to the inside through turns 1 and 2, and he's right on the gearbox as we go down the back straightaway. Might have a shot here going into turn number 3. Roberto Crown Jr. has also got a run from behind, though, as well, but they're going to stay in line for now, maybe trying to be a bit patient. As we know, patience is definitely key here in these Indy cars, especially at this racetrack. And Michael Lewis looks like that might pay off. He's got a run here off of turn number 4. If he can stay with that 17, he might get this race lead going into 1.
And if he can hold the inside into 1, that's where you want to be on the inside lane. Turn 4 is the best place for the outside lane. And Andrew Williams, he's going to get swarmed here as we got a new race leader. How about Michael Lewis to the inside? But now, at the 11 machine, Roberto Crown Jr. looking to peek to the inside for the race lead as well. Not going to be able to do it, and Michael Lewis hangs on to the race lead. How about Casey Kojima there, looking for their first career win on the channel on number 19 machine. What a race it would be for them to get that here today. Brad Stover's up there as well, though, on that 81. Like I said, has a chip on his shoulder from what happened to him the other day. And how about Charlie Davenport, also looking for his first career win on the channel. He's inside the top 10. And Avery Alford as well, also looking to win this race, who missed out from the Indy 250. It's going to be a great fight to the finish, and any of these guys still have a great opportunity of winning. I mean, just remember what happened last year. We had a lot of last lap passes. We have seen a lot of last lap passes in this race in the past, and we might be setting up for another one here today at Indianapolis.
With how these guys are racing, we definitely could be setting up for a great finish as we are heading into the final quarter of this race. It has absolutely flown by. Nice to see these guys keep it green and keep it clean. Well, we almost had a caution there on the opening lap, but luckily they were able to get out of that. But coming to lap 15, Kojima, the rookie there, the number 19, has a run on Michael Lewis there through turn 4. Lewis, though, has the draft from Brad Stover down the front straightaway. We'll see if Lewis can maybe clear going into turn number 1, and it looks like he's going to try it, but he slips up just a little bit. But he's still not quite clear. Kojima's still peeking on the inside, but he is going to clear there as they go down the back straightaway. Roberto Crown Jr. to the inside of Stover there down the back straightaway. And a good run going here for Charlie Davenport is for the lead. Kojima to the inside here going into turn number 3 on Michael Lewis. They're going to stay side by side. Here they go through turn 4 where you can put up a defense on the outside lane. And Michael Lewis trying to do just that. But Kojima's got drafting help now from Roberto Crown Jr. and Davenport. So Kojima, without a doubt, will definitely clear here into turn number 1, and Crown and Davenport going to follow suit. But we got 5 coming to 4 laps to go this time by from the Freedom 50, and it could still probably be anybody's race here from Indianapolis.
Yeah, especially if you're in this top 10. I don't know about the guys in the back at this point, but 4.5 laps to go. We're running out of time to put yourself in position to win this race. I do not want to be the race leader at this point in the race. With what we've seen, you kind of want to be cycled up to maybe 4th or 5th at this point in the race, which that's Brad Stover and Avery Alford at this point. We'll see if they end up having an opportunity later on, but Roberto Crown Jr., they're going to try to hold on to that position there for 2nd all the way to the end, and then go for it on that last lap. Here comes Stover for 3rd on Davenport. You got Alford, no, actually you got Haley Anderson Jr. making a move there on Michael Lewis. And Stapleton trying to move his way back up on that inside lane as well to the inside of Dylan Matthews inside the top 10. We'll see if he ends up finding himself up front by the end of this race, but only 3.5 laps to go in this Freedom 50.
We'll have to see. We know that 22 car is really strong. Brad Stover up towards the front going for 2nd, and Hallie Anderson Jr. How about Hallie Anderson Jr.? Started on the last row of the grid. Now making their way up here fighting inside, I believe, the top 5 now. As we're double file side by side as Stover tries to go after Roberto Crown Jr. for 2nd. We got Davenport trying to go after Avery Alford here for 4th. And I'm sure Kojima's definitely loving this, although I don't think the 19 wants to get too far out, as we know how big the draft is here at Indianapolis, especially with these Indy cars. So if the 19 gets too far out, they're pretty much just going to be a sitting duck here to the rest of the field, which is still kind of bunched up here. But this time by, it's going to be 2 laps to go from Indianapolis. Can Kojima hang on, or will somebody back here potentially make a run at it?
And another thing you got to think about, too, you know, even though we've had a clean race, we almost had a caution on the first lap. If we get a caution at this point...
Oh, and on the topic of that...
3 wide back in there. Oh, I don't know about this.
Stapleton trying to make 3 wide work again.
He's not going to do it. Contact in the 1. They're still 3 wide. They almost wrecked.
Still banging
and
wheels.
They're still 3 wide as Stover's going for the lead behind him. Davenport's going to have to check out, and I don't know how in the world they got out of that. Wow.
Stapleton,
and by the way, Brad Stover's taking the race lead here, and we're coming to the white flag next time by here in the Freedom 50.
I don't know how they made that work again, and both times it was Stapleton with a move to the inside. But yeah, Stover to the race lead now, coming with a white flag this time by. From the Freedom 50, it's Kojima in second, Crown in third, Stapleton in fourth, Williams rounding out your top 5. It's the final lap here from Indianapolis. Kojima with a bit of a run on Brad Stover, trying to close into the gearbox. That was a great run through turn 1. Through turn 2, Kojima looking to try and peek to the inside. Crown waiting in the wings in case something potentially happens to these two. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Kojima maybe trying to abide by her time, but she doesn't want to wait too long. Through turn 3, and here we go. Through turn 4, Kojima taking a peek to the inside, but she's not quite gonna get there. From Indy 250 D&Q to victory lane, it's gonna be Brad Stover who's gonna get the win here in the Freedom 50.
How about that for Brad Stover? Like I said, chip on his shoulder from missing the Indy 250 in a ride that won the Indy 250 2 years ago. And he gets to hang on to a race victory and get it in the Freedom 50. That's a pretty good consolation prize. He doesn't get any points in the Haas IndyCar Series for that, but I'm sure he's got to be happy about that one. Getting the Freedom 50 race victory. A big win there for Brad Stover, who I know is very happy to be in this race. And kissing the bricks here today in the 20-lap event that we just saw. But my goodness, we should have seen 2 cautions in that race. Nathan Stapleton almost took out half the field twice. And they were bumping off each other going into turn 1, and somehow they saved it. That was absolutely the moment of the race. Brad Stover took the lead right when that was happening, didn't look back, and he's your winner here in the Freedom 50 for 2025.
Man, what a race here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a win for Brad Stover. That's definitely got to feel good after DNQing from the Indy 250. Of course, like you said, no points still, unfortunately, but still gets to kiss the bricks here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And still a pretty prestigious race to win. Besides that, but, wow, my goodness, that was an absolute spectacle here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Like you said, nice that we went clean and green to the end, but definitely had a couple of moments that definitely could have resulted in a caution. It's honestly kind of a miracle that they did keep it green, but I am glad they did, because that was an absolutely spectacular race and a great finish and a great win from Brad Stover. But taking a quick look here over your official result here from the 2025 Freedom 50 here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is Brad Stover getting the win. Casey Kojima still continuing their great season with another podium finish there in the number 19. Roberto Crown Jr. continues the momentum, coming home in the 3rd position. Roberto might potentially put himself in a good position here to, I believe, take the points lead. Have to see. But I'm looking further down the field. You got Nathan Stapleton coming home in 4th. Andrew Williams rounds out your top 5. Got Michael Lewis in 6th. Josh Marzak 7th. Anderson Jr. comes home in 8th. Miller 9th. Good recovery by him after we kind of saw him towards the back of the field for most of the race. Managing to cover up there to a top 10, so good stuff there for him. And Dylan Matthews rounds out your top 10. Charlie Davenport comes home 11th. 12th is Corey Case. 13th is Matthew Hubert. 14th, Jonathan Wong. 15th, Avery Alford. 16th, Philip Torres. 17th, Felix Mayer. And unfortunately, Ludovic Charrette's going to be coming home in the 18th position here in this race. But Ludovic still has a long weekend ahead of him. Still look forward to the Wawa Cup Series race and the Indianapolis 250 as well. So I think there's still a lot in store this weekend for the driver of that number 18. But, whew, my goodness, what a race here from the Freedom 50. This race usually never disappoints, and I would say that this year was definitely no exception to that.
Definitely, and I mean, what a race for all those guys who almost should have wrecked at the first lap and then on the 18th lap as well, and somehow they saved it. Quite amazing, and they're doing that at 220 miles per hour. Brad Stover, though, was ahead of all that, got the race victory, and good to see a long-time veteran get the win here in the Freedom 50. And that's definitely going to be a win that he's going to cherish for a long time. Big one there for Brad Stover, who's not had much success on the channel the past few years. Great to see him finally go to victory lane. What a race, and we're just setting up for tomorrow, Indianapolis 250. And Kayla, I'm going to ask you, well, what do you think we're going to see in that race tomorrow? Because we got 100 laps of the same exact thing that we saw here today. 2 cycles of pit stops. We fixed that. I know you're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great one tomorrow at noon Eastern Time here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if this race is any indicator, then I would say definitely get the popcorn out, because it's going to be an absolute spectacle tomorrow, as it usually is for the Indianapolis 250. It's going to be a lot of fun regardless, and can't wait to see how it will all go down. And definitely can't wait to see how all of our IndyCar Series drivers do. It'll be fun to see, and we'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down. But one of our IndyCar drivers getting the win here today from the Freedom 50, and it is Brad Stover, who will be going to victory lane. And really nice to see after the kind of tough year that Brad Stover has had here on the channel. Definitely a very feel-good win there for Brad Stover, and I'm sure team owner Shane Lake is definitely going to be very happy with that as well. But that'll do it here from the Freedom 50. Let's see here, the next race here from the CSX IndyLights Series.
Michigan.
Next race is going to be at the Michigan International Speedway. It's going to be the Great Lakes 100K. And that race will be going up on Thursday, June 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That race is always usually a lot of fun in the IndyCar Series, and definitely excited to see how these IndyLights guys will take the track. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun. And I'll do it here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Thank you so much, AG, for joining me up here in the booth. Once again, congratulations to the 81 of Brad Stover for winning the Freedom 50, and I will see you all from Michigan. With that being said, you all take care, and as always, y'all have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 3 of the season.